Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm T with Teresa H Creates, and I wanted to kind of shift gears a little bit. I am up to my eyeballs in Cabinet of Curiosity stuff, but I'm also doing some prep for December daily, and I'm kind of getting into the Christmas spirit. So with it being towards the end of the month, I wanted to go ahead and work on an unfinished project, one of my UFPs, and I did go ahead and select a Christmas one. And I thought that this looked really cute. It's this little pink guy, and it says Christmas Prima UFP. So let's open it up and see what we've got. It looks like Christmas market collection. There's lots of scraps, and here are some flowers. And the tag pad, it looks like here's the, that's everything. Here's the project. We'll take a look at that in a second. But we've got ephemera and stickers and ephemera and more ephemera and stickers. Okay, so this should be fairly easy, right? And then we've got this tag pad along with flowers. All right, and then all of these, I think that they're all, yep, it's all scraps. That is super cute. I'm gonna set that aside. Might be able to use that for something. Isn't she cute? That little image is cute. Okay, but let me put all the scrap off to the side. I can reach for it when I need it, but it's not interfering. All right, let's take a look at this project. I'm trying to remember what this is. I do a lot of stuff. Oh, you know what? Okay, this is a little journal that I made using craft card bases. So I used to pick up lots of pre-made card bases, and now I make my own. So I have a whole stash I don't use anymore. And so I took some of the craft ones and I ended up making this little journal. And I think that I actually just did a tutorial on how to make the journal and then didn't actually do any of the decorating. So that's where we are. So then that's perfect. All right, so this is already constructed. It looks like everything is covered. So it looks like the only thing we have to do is decorate. So we need a cover and then we need decorations for the inside. So I will link the video for the tutorial on this down in the description box. That way, if you wanted to check this out, you can. This was such a super easy journal, especially if you have a lot of card bases that are floating around. So let's see. Pocket. There's a pocket. Tuck. There's nothing here. Pocket. Nothing here, nothing here. We've got a pocket here, and a little tuck there. And then this guy just flips. Is this, yep, there's a tuck spot. This has nothing. There's a tuck spot. Here is a pocket. So some of them I sealed up and then some of them I left open, it looks like. So some of these, when I attached the cards to each other, because that's how it's made, you just attach the cards to each other. So you can either leave the centers of them open or you can glue them together. And so it looks like some of them I glued together and then others I left open. Yes, pocket, tuck. I like that. This is blank and this is, yep, belly band. Tuck, tuck, and tuck. And then, is this another one? Tuck, yep. I have lots and lots of pockets and tuck spots and everything. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see what we've got as far as our bigger items go. And this ephemera. How cute is this? And again, this is the Frank Garcia designed Prima Christmas Market collection. How pretty. Oh, the little, look at that. Okay, little tags, little nutcracker. That is super cute. Christmas chimes. Okay, some of the larger images, I want to set these aside. The little angels, this guy. So I'll end up collaging with a lot of this. Okay, and then let's keep our sentiments separate. Was that Christmas market? Let me make sure. This may not even be Christmas market. The branding is actually covered up by this tag because I don't recall the blue. Sorry, guys. Okay, it took forever to peel that off, and look, it's in white. But I think that it says Christmas Sparkle. I don't recall that collection. But I started looking at it and I'm like, you know what? Those blues and stuff, that really doesn't go with this. And then if you put this next to it, it looks very different. This one definitely is Christmas market, and I can see that because I wrote it in black. That was helpful. All right. Okay, so now we've got the little gingies. Yes, so this looks more like it. That little snow globe is adorable. Okay, sentiments. Christmas tree. Little Santa faces. And then here we go. Let's put the little Santa faces over here too. I'm going to put the snow globes. There we go, our little ballerinas. So here we go. Christmas cheer, magical Christmas, winter wonderland, magical Christmas, Christmas cheer. So just some repeating stuff. Look at that. All right, some more tags. Let me go ahead and pull these aside. And then there are my coordinating twos. We've got lots of stuff to work with. Perfect. A sleigh ride. Bingo cards. All right. Okay. And then this one is also Christmas market for sure. And I believe that these are different. I believe these are different items than what was in that one. But we're about to find out. It might be duplicates. I don't think it is, though. I think it's different. Okay. Yeah, already, see, we've got... Oh, look at that. I definitely want to use that. Okay, we got more of the little Santas. We got the little 25s. Fragile. There we go. Special delivery. Santa. Admission tickets. That little angel. Some sentiments. Put these up here. And then some lovely little cards. Some bingo cards that say Merry. Oh, some little banners, some more little ticket pieces. Those little banners are cute. Little sleighs. Okay, and then presents. Those are adorable. All right, glass, handle with care. There's a letter for the North Pole. And then a couple of cards. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. And then I have this entire tag book. You know what I'm going to do? There are 45 in here, and I don't know how much. There are 15 designs, and there's 3 of each design. I'm going to go ahead and go through here and just take 1 out of each design, and then I'll put this aside, and then that way I know I'm not duplicating. But then I've also had the opportunity to use everything. I don't get this one. What is this? Linen samples? That is adorable. I really like that tree. Dear Santa. And then we've also got to be thinking about something for the cover. Almost done. Thanks for hanging in there with me. already pull one of these out? I did not. So there we go. All right, that's one of each of those, so I can set that aside. And then I did want to use this little girl. I kind of wanted something larger for the opener. So let's do this, and let's see if I've got something I can put up here. I don't know that I want to, no, I don't want to put a glass handle with care. Let's see. Oh, I need to keep those aside. Those little presents are cute. Let's see, one of these guys. I could put like the 2-5 here, or I could put it down here. Christmas greetings to you. Winter Wonderland. Let's do Magical Christmas. What if we did Magical Christmas? And then I'll go ahead and place some of these guys too. Some of these little stars. Okay. Let's do that. Let me put that aside. This is my inker. I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges up so I've got some definition. This is a cute little project, and I love doing these unfinished projects because sometimes I just do tutorials and I only want to show you like how to construct something, and then I move on to something else, and I'm not necessarily, you know, taking the time to do all the decorating, obviously. And so then I end up with a whole shelf full of stuff that I've started and not finished. And I really need to get it cleared out of here to make more room for more unfinished projects. That's the way that works. 225, and we'll put Magical Christmas across the top. I'm using my art glitter glue. I'm not going to try to use a tape runner across all of this stuff. All right, and I do want to put some of these little stars down. I have a few more. Got a large one right here. We're getting close to Thanksgiving holiday here. If you are in the United States, then happy almost Thanksgiving. This video should be coming out on Thanksgiving week. I don't know if it's going to be on Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving. I don't think after, but it should be Thanksgiving week. And for those of you not in the US who have not heard, it's a US holiday that we celebrate. It's a time to be thankful, and we spend time with families, and we pig out on lots of delicious foods. I am bringing the ham and mashed potatoes and a couple of pies. And we're getting together at my mother's this year. It's been a while. We usually do a really large extended family Thanksgiving, and this year it's just going to be my mother and her 4 daughters. I'm her eldest, so 3 younger sisters and our families, which is still quite a bit. I think we're going to have 22 there between the 4 of us and our spouses, and then our brood. It's going to end up being quite large. All right, I'm going to round these corners. And ink these edges. I'm using the Distress Ink and Walnut Stain from Tim Holtz to add some color to these. That's what it looked like I was using, so I'm going to just carry through with that. All right, so we got a little journal card, and we can add a Santa's list. Let me round these corners. I think that's cute. more thing, or is that good? That's good for now. Okay, and then here, I think I'm going to leave this blank. I'm going to leave a couple of spots for adding photos. I'm going to use this as a tuck spot though. I'm going to go ahead and round all of these corners. All right, and I'm going to put that right down here, but I'm going to leave it open so that it's a cute little tuck spot. And let's see, what do we want to put on it? Let's use one of our little images. What about Santa? Okay, he is too cute. That's adorable. That's a little bit too big. What do you think of this guy? He's a little bit too big. We're going to go with that Santa. That's the perfect size. All right. I'm going to ink him up around the edges a little bit. It's got that little white border, but he needs a little bit of distressing. So we are going to put him on here, and we're going to put Merry Christmas right across bingo. That works for me. Can you guys see that? I hope you can. I start in frame and then I start working closer and closer to myself and end up pulling it all out of frame. This is already kind of thick, so I don't want to add a ton of dimension because he would look cute popped up. How cute. Okay, let's do right along here and the bottom. And we'll pop this down. And then we've got to put a big journaling card in there, but we'll wait on that later. I'll go through my scraps and cut something down. Now let's find something to put inside there. Got all these little tags. That's cute on the nice list. Maybe that one that says North Pole. I'm going to round these corners because that is a personal preference. These were already getting kind of beat up anyway. I just feel like if you have the square corners, I mean, if you prefer the square corners, that's fine. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I prefer rounded because if you have the square corners, they get beat up. They get beat up, they get bent up. And I just feel like the round last a little longer. They look a little neater. And I feel like, and it's probably just in my head, but I feel like they also are easier to slide into little pockets and things. I just feel like it's just an easier transition. Okay, that is really cute. That is so super cute. There is no rule that says a tag has to remain a tag though. Why don't I cut these down? I'm going to trim off the tops and I'm going to use them as journaling cards. All right, I just trimmed the tops off of both of those. And then I am going to round the corners. And I'm going to decorate this one. I think this one is adorable. I'm leaving it alone, and look, they added the little pink nose for Rudolph instead of the little red nose. That little reindeer has a little pink nose. It's too cute. I think I'm going to put them in at an angle. All right. And this one I do want to put something on because it doesn't look very Christmassy to me. So let's add a little something. What about this guy? I think that that is perfect. This little angel. So cute. I'm going to pop that right on and put that right in there. I am going to get a little bit dimensional here. I'm going to go ahead and add this little star over this one. I think that they are the same size. But I'm going to add that right over the top of it. to give that a little bit of dimension. And then I really want to round these corners. I don't want to mess it up. If you punch it with a material that's thicker, then it should punch fine. So let's try this out. I mean, it works with other things. I just haven't tried it with vellum and it works. So perfect. So then you just get a thicker material if you want to use your corner rounder on thinner materials, like really thin papers and vellums and things. And then there you go. Okay, that looks good. Much better. I don't know what I'm going to put back here. We'll figure that out. I need a big card for here. I think I'm going to leave this. It says sleigh rides right here. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up and add this little detail in there. I have so much ephemera, I might as well use it. And then add these little dimensional details in there. There we go. Going. She is lovely. I think I'm going to leave this blank so that photos can be added just in case somebody wants to add a photo. I am going to add like a little image to it. This is cute. Okay, so what I am going to do is, where these were perforated, where they were cut, it still has some of the little tags on them, so I was just trying to cut those off, clear that up. Get in there. Okay, so I am going to place this here for decoration, but I'm only going to glue this bottom section. That way someone would be able to tuck a photo in underneath it. And you still have all of that space, so it wouldn't interfere. These presents are down here in this corner. And so is this. So what if I add this? Okay. We're going to do another little tuck here. I'm going to use the smallest corner rounder here because this isn't a very big piece. And then let's ink up these presents. We're going to kind of duplicate what's in here and we'll create a little tuck. Okay, I'm not going to put the entire thing down. So I'm going to do this right here. There's a little bit hanging off the bottom. I'm going to trim it off. And then we're going to put glue on two sides and pop it down in this corner. There we go. Now let's see what we've got. Look, how fortuitous. I didn't do that on purpose or anything. All right. I think I've already spent about 30 minutes. You've kind of got the idea of what I'm doing here, how I'm going along, and I'm just adding interest to these little pockets and things. I'm going to continue decorating off camera and then I'm going to come back and we'll do a quick flip through and then you'll be able to see my finished project. Welcome back. We'll do a flip through now. I'm completely done. It is definitely an alligator mouth. I expected that it would be, so that's fine. I didn't do anything to the back of it. Here is the spine. Here is the front. It's got all that nice foil detail there. So Merry Christmas in the silver in the background and the Merry Christmas with the gold foil on top, and then the 25 and special delivery. And here's our cute little Santa, and I use those flowers. So let's open it up and get started with the flip through. Okay, let's see. Oh, we did all these together, so I don't think I added anything extra to these. So we've got our our journaling cards here. We've got Magical Christmas with the stars and the 25. I did go ahead and add this little angel here to the bottom. I liked her. Behind that was the little boy on the skis, and I had him somewhere else in here, so it's this little guy. So I've got a journaling card in here, and then Merry Christmas on the bingo card and Santa's face, and a couple of tags, and then Merry Christmas up here and a couple of tags. And I did add that little angel to the front of that journaling card because I just thought, you know, it was a little too plain. Okay, and then this is the little vellum piece here. It was just for added texture and interest. And then I did adhere this Santa down completely, so there's no tucking or anything there, but Santa's all the way down. But you know what? I think it makes like a really nice little journaling spot. So anyway, I added the sleigh here on this, and then I've got a journaling card in here. And then I think we did this together too. I'm not sure. I don't remember now what we did together and what I did on my own. But there's a tag, and we just used our ephemera to duplicate what was on the page underneath that. Here's a long tag. And again, I thought this would be a nice spot for a picture. So the only thing glued down are the skis. So a picture can be slipped right in there. But until then, I've got that nice tag position there. And then here is another journaling card there. Here are a couple of tags. I put everything kind of in at an angle so that you could see all the goodies. I love the way they looked. Okay, and then this one was part of that collage paper. So I added Winter Wonderland up here, and then this was the little wax seal, but I had an actual sticker. I think that's the only sticker that I used out of that entire thing. I'm not really a sticker girl, and these are puff stickers, but I did add that little wax seal. And then this is carriage and sleigh wagons, and so I added the little ticket and the little sleigh ride card. And then here I added the little gingerbread men and the heart, and it holds this little tag here. If you open it up, I've got this little girl here carrying the Christmas tree. I added the banner with Jolly, and this little tag is underneath, and it was pretty plain, so I added the snow globe Santa there. So I've got a nice little tuck. And then this doily here is a nice little tuck spot, and I've got more tags under there. I like that one above, and I added Santa's little face. And then this is the other page I thought would be nice to have a picture, and I wanted it to be obvious that this lifts so you could add something, so I just put another little journaling tag there. And here's a side tuck, oh Christmas tree, with the Christmas tree here. I've got some tags in there. And then this is all about the skating, and I've got the 25 up here. It's all ice skating stuff, so I just added a little bingo ticket, and then I added that little peppermint heart there. And then there's a tag here. Oh, I added the little stars down here. We've got the little notch for the pocket. It says Christmas cheer at the top, and then those tags come right out. I added the little angel on this side, and then I created a little journaling card, and then this one I added the vellum to the front of it also. I just really liked the way that looked, and so I wanted to add another feature with that, so I added that there. And a little star in the corner. And then, oh, this is the North Pole special delivery. And then I've got the letters to Santa, and then this little journaling card here. And those are all just tucked right in there. And then this says fragile, handle with care, glass, handle with care. And then I've got the Dear Santa, and then on the nice list tags. I thought those were cute, and then Santa's peeking out on either side of that belly band. I thought it was really cute. And then this are my like graduated pockets here, so I added the little presents down here, and then I've got tags here, and I've got this little tag here, and then up here I have this little journaling card that I made out of Christmas chimes, and then I added this little ephemera piece, that little bell, to the top there as the tab. So I thought that was really cute. On this side, I've got a nice little tuck. There's my ballerina. I did go ahead and add that star up there, so it's got some dimension, and that says Sweet Holiday. And then there's a journaling card and a tag. And that is it. The end. It's got a lot of stuff in it. There's tons and tons of stuff. Lots of writing space, lots of journaling space, places for photos to go in there. Lots of tuck spots and pockets for memories and tickets and memorabilia. So it makes a nice little Christmas journal. So that was it. And it feels so good to finally have another project done. So this is what I have left over. If you remember, this bag was full. And so I think that I only have two full sheets of that collection left, and the rest of it's all just remnants. Again, I only used one sticker, but I used a ton of the ephemera. The only thing I really have a lot of are the journaling tags, because I only used, you know, one of each of those. So there were just a bunch. So I'll actually add all this stuff back into my Christmas paper box with all my Prima Christmas papers. And so I'll just dump that in there, and hopefully there'll be some things in there that'll coordinate as well, and I'll be able to use up the rest of this eventually, but I'll be able to mark through that, and I've got another project down. All right, please put down in the comments what you think. Let me know also if you've been working on some of your unfinished projects, or maybe you don't have any at all. I'd be interested in knowing that. Am I the only one who just works halfway through a project, sets it aside, and then moves on to other things? And I know I record videos, and so I'm kind of constantly moving from one thing to another. But I think even if I wasn't recording, there are times that when I'm just not feeling it, I set it aside. So surely everybody's got a few unfinished projects, but hopefully this encourages you to pull out your unfinished projects and get some of yours done too. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for spending some time with me, and until next time, bye.